Hey everybody, this is Brandon from Sparksmith up in C and Be Seen. I wanted to take just a quick minute to demonstrate, because I have this Dodge Ram in here that has some projector headlights in it with D2S bulbs. I wanted to demonstrate the difference between an HID D2S bulb and our LED D2S bulb. They're quite comparable, you might be surprised. Okay, first up, I'm just going to power them both on at the same time and see if you can initially tell which one is the LED and which one is the HID. If you'll notice, and the HID, I've been running it for a few minutes, so it was already kind of warmed up. If you know HIDs, they take a little while to warm up, but the upper one is, where's my finger? The upper one is the LED and the lower one is the HID. So definitely a color difference. I will say that I'm gonna put my lux meter on it here in a minute and try them one at a time. So there's HID and that's LED. Just two very different kinds of light. I suspect that the HID, in fact you can kind of tell it just from looking here, the HID has more of a hot spot, that brighter point right there. That's what's going to push more light further down the road. However, you also have the advantage on LED of that full brightness instantly, and you know, a much simpler installation. Oop, there, okay, yeah. See, I rotated the LED bulbs. You can rotate it and get a much different output. Now, it's worth noting that this particular bulb does work off of an HID ballast. So we have options where it'll just work off of 12 volts. So you don't even have to run your xenon ballasts anymore. You can just run an HID bulb. So I think the next step is, let's unplug one of these. All right, we've got HID. I'm gonna get my lux meter and take a couple of readings. Okay, I've got my lux meter here, and it's worth noting these are just relative measurements, one to the other. Because we've got the overhead lights on and stuff, it's not a true measure of the actual output, but it's gonna be one relative to the other. So if we look right here in the center, what should be the brightest point on it, I'm getting just over 1,000 lux. And again, these numbers are sort of meaningless by themselves, but when you start comparing them against each other, that's what tells you the differences. So we're looking at about 1,000 right there at the brightest point. And then when you get a few feet out, you're already, so right about here, I'm at 500. So I'm already at half the intensity. And on this side, it actually stays quite intense. Any further, right on this cutoff line, really stay in the 700s. Now we're starting to drop down to 500s. So quite a ways away on this side before we hit half of the highest reading. And interestingly, we can only make it to about here before we're at half of the intensity that you're getting right there. So next, we will try it with the LED. Of course, you get that instant brightness as soon as it's plugged in. Disconnect the HID so it's not having any effect on the reading. And again, the LED can be rotated. I will admit straight away that one disadvantage of the LED is you see this shadow. That is because of the chip arrangement, and that's just a necessary evil of the way LED technology is right now. So if we rotate it kind of to the side, that might give us our best output. Like this will give us a brighter hotspot, but this will give you better foreground, and so it's kind of a, it's going to be a trade-off. You lose width, but you get more foreground this way. At the brightest point, we are at 1,200 lux. So slightly brighter than the xenon bulb. And coming out here, we don't drop to half. We're about 500 here, which is about what we saw on the other one. Now going this way, we're going to lose intensity a lot quicker because I rotated that bulb to account for foreground instead of width. So I can only get about the same distance away here before I'm at half of the brightness you get at the very center. You get lots of good foreground. Now, if I was to rotate the bulb 90 degrees, so that the blade part is vertical, you'll see you get a lot more width out of it. This is just one of those things about LEDs. Still roughly the same about 1200 here in the middle, but now we're going all the way over here before we reach, so right here we reach about 600, right about there. So we're a little further out before we're at the halfway point. And then we'll try it this way. 600 is right about there. 500 is going to be there-ish. So you get that much width out of it, but you do get this kind of dark spot right in the middle. So if you're looking for more light down the road, to the sides, you'd have that orientation. Or if you wanted more light in the foreground, kind of right in front of the car, if you drive in foggy conditions, stuff like that more often, you'd want to rotate it the other way to get more of the foreground. So just a quick comparison of LED versus HID. I always like doing these little comparisons to kind of see what's what in the world of lighting. You can see I just plugged in the HID again. HID is still a very good bulb. They do have that warm-up time. So if you like the instant on brightness of LEDs, then we have a D series option for all of your D series xenon bulbs. So D1, D2, D3, D4, even D5, which was in some of the newer Chevy and Ford trucks. There's only a few options for D5 LED bulbs out there. I'll show you what I mean. If you want a D5 HID, so the D5 actually incorporates the ballast into the back of the bulb, and it's a very unique design, only used for a few platforms, but we have an LED version of it that will work with your truck or your car or whatever it is that uses this D5 4, 3, 2, or 1. We've got them at Sparksmith.com.